Hello and welcome back. This has been a video that has been in the works for a while, or rather, this project has been in the works for a while. Honestly, it didn't take me too long to model the actual Austroraptor, I believe is how you pronounce it. I probably should have looked that up before I recorded, but here we are. Yeah, it's just been a project that has been on the back burner. Modeling is fairly easier for me, but when it comes to working with the shader editor and with feathers or alpha cards, it really was a struggle for me to actually finish this project because I don't like releasing something that I'm not proud of. And I wouldn't say I'm not proud of this project, but it's just not the results that I was going for. And as the video progresses, you'll be able to see, kind of my attempt in with the feathers and with shading the feathers. They're not quite how I wanted them. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoy this time lapse, and I might chime in and chat during some bits, but otherwise, we'll talk to you soon. All right, and we are at the sculpting section of the video. I believe here I am just checking a few things, making sure all the topology fits nicely with the objects. And did you know that sculpting is one of my least favorite things to do? Yep, I don't know why. After modeling, I just feel like I don't want to do anymore. Um, But I enjoy sculpting once I have the actual forms laid in. I think it's just the initial stage of, I feel like I'm restarting, I guess. Because, there's so many steps to all this. You got to model, sculpt, texture, rig, composite, blah, 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 blah. So it's just a matter of restarting and getting back in gear. But for this, I technically could have just done the head or sculpted, the head, done the text, the alphas for that. Could have done the fingers and the feet and called it good. But I went above and beyond as per usual, and I went ahead and did the whole body. So I have no one to blame but myself. So I did enjoy, having a completed, sculpted model is satisfying to me, but it is time consuming and not all the time necessary. And this is where the fun began. Honestly, this part I wasn't too intimidated by. I thought it was, fairly straightforward. You just have to create a plane and map the UV image of the feather to that plane. So I kind of struggle with trying to understand how many vertices and faces I guess I should have. Trying to optimize the feathers as much as possible. So I guess it's just one of those things that it's trial and error. And the more I do it, I should be able to come to a point where I know, how much topology I actually need in the feathers. So this bit wasn't too difficult. Just kind of laying the feathers. I am no expert when it comes to, clearly you could see, but I'm no expert when it comes to, primary feathers and how they're actually laid out. I did, on my other monitor, I had some references that I was kind of going off of, but for me, I just wanted to get the feathers on the Austroraptor, and that was kind of my learning curve. So I didn't want to get too scientific or exact with those things, but yeah, I did what I could. So at some point, I'm going to start instancing the particle system, and for the particle system to instance an object, and in this case, it'll be the feathers, which I'm not quite there yet in the time lapse, but you'll see at some point I get to it. From my understanding from doing this project and a few other projects in the past, the object, and I'm going to refer to the object, which is the feather. So the feather's orientation to the world axis is important when it comes to instancing that onto an object, and as well as the feather's origin point. So because I want the origin point to be at the tip of the feather, and I don't know what that little strand is called that holds the little feathers together, I guess. But that is the origin, and then you instance from there. And hopefully you'll start to see how I am laying the feathers out. I know it's kind of quick, and as I get more experienced with this, I can probably do a more thorough video explaining it way better than I am right now, but hopefully you get the point. Another thing to kind of point out, and this is for future reference for myself, is less is more, especially when it comes to particle systems. I think I should have made the particle system feathers larger than what they are, so they cover more of the body versus instancing more feathers, if that makes sense. So yeah, because right at the end, you know, my computer was really having a hard time, and with all the feathers that I had on the Austroraptor, it was too slow, and at that point, it was just not worth the time in fixing some of the splotches and areas that were messed up. This is just a learning experience for me, and you know, it's not going to be perfect the first time, so there we have it. And now I'm just having some fun with the with the hair. It looks a little funky sometimes, so bear with me. Something else that I am going to start kind of really considering when I model is how I'm going to section the vertex groups for the feathers. And that might be something that I do while I'm modeling. Like I might brush in the vertex groups for that area. That way I don't have to do it all at once. Because you'll notice when I lay the feathers out, sometimes they're just really funky and they just don't go with the topology, and I'm trying to understand how to make it flow, I guess, on the body better. And if you have any experience doing particle systems and maybe can help me out with that, that would be amazing. Because, you know, I try to section it, you know, the top of the body, try to do like the thigh, the calf, the tail, but some spots were just really funky, so I'm not quite clear on how that all works, but I'm sure I'll get there at some point. It's just, again, a matter of practice. One other thing that I have researched is that if your model is not 100% asymmetrical on both sides, you will have a hard time mirroring feathers, or I guess alpha cards. And I did try to mirror these feathers onto, I think, the positive X onto the negative X axis. So if you're looking at the Austroraptor head on, it would be from right to left. And I don't know if that's also what's causing the issues in terms of like weird flow / intersection with the alphas, but you'll notice along the back and the tail as we get further into the video that it just starts getting really interesting in those areas, and I can't quite figure out why, but maybe those ones I would have to do more manually, I guess, but I'll figure it out. So I didn't really mention it too much in the texturing part of the video, just because I was trying to explain the UDIM / single tile issue thing I ran into. But if anyone has any information or links or videos or tutorials, etc., that discuss how to shade a feather properly. That would be really nice, because I could not. I'm no master at the shader node editor, so it's just one of those things that I need to practice. But if there's someone out there that can direct me into the right direction, and I said that twice, that would be really nice, and that would be helpful, and I would really appreciate that. And side note, I don't know why, but the feathers on the tail just laid really weird. They almost look like lines. It's like streaky. And I'm wondering if that has to do with the tail topology, because I believe they're emitting from the faces. I can't remember anymore, but it's either the faces or the volume or something like that. So if anyone has any information on that too, that would be really nice. I would have really appreciated it. But anywho, another thing that's really confusing to me is the hair length and the length of the object. I don't know. I'm gonna have to probably do this in another video, but just to actually demonstrate what I'm trying to say. But the hair length of the particle, as you see right now, is not the length of the object. So when you go back to view it in the viewport outside of, so you're in particle edit, and you can see those particles are really long, but then you go back into the object mode and they're small. And I know that has to do with the object scale versus the particle scale. I don't know. It just seems really odd and strange to me. And yeah, a little frustrating going back and forth trying to figure out if the particle length is accurate to what I'm seeing in object mode. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully I'll figure it out one day. we are finally nearing the end of this video slash project. Lots to be learned and lots was learned. Do not laugh at the final renders that I'm going to be posting. You can laugh, it's okay. I really don't want to post and share it, but I'm going to, because I know that I'm going to do better hopefully the next time I tackle alpha cards. And thank you again for watching and supporting me and, you know, commenting and all that fun stuff. It always helps me stay motivated. I know I haven't posted in a long time. I have been lacking a little bit of motivation, I'll be honest, but yeah, anyway, thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video.